I am Professor Ravinder Kaur, Department of Public Administration, Osmania University, Hyderabad. The course is on Public Administration and Introduction, and the module that we are going to discuss today is Coordination. This module is divided into 4 parts. The first part describes the meaning, significance, and definitions of coordination. The second part differentiates between cooperation and coordination and defines types and principles of coordination. The third part incorporates the features, elements, and techniques of coordination. The concluding part is on the approaches and hindrances to coordination. The objectives of this module describe the concept, principles, features, elements, techniques, and hindrances to coordination. Coordination. The theorists of public administration have defined coordination. In fact, it is Luther Gulick who has given the significance of coordination in his acronym POSTCOB, where the alphabet CO represents coordination. He considers it as a very important executive function. Before Gulick, it was Henry Fayol also who has discussed about coordination. Coordination means removal of conflict and overlapping from administration. Coordination can also be considered as cooperation and teamwork amongst the employees. It deals with the task of blending for the successful achievement of an organization. To put it in simple words, we can say that coordination is the essence of management. Number of writers have defined coordination, and these definitions center around 2 important aspects. One is teamwork, and second is the harmonious blend of activity. According to Newman, coordination is the orderly synchronization of efforts to provide the proper amount, timing, directing of execution, resulting in harmonious and unified action to a stated objective. According to Terry, coordination is the adjustment of parts to each other and of the movement and operation of parts in time so that each can make its maximum contribution to the product as a whole. Now, if we see coordination, according in the words of L.D. White, he says coordination is a process causing disjunct elements to a concentration on a complex of forces and influence which cause the mutually independent elements to act together. Charles Worth, he says that coordination is the integration of the several parts into an orderly whole. If you look at these definitions, we can say that coordination is nothing but it is bringing all the different units into one whole. We can see that bringing all the disjointed parts into an organic whole. Coordination is very essential in any organization. No. We find that if each individual is working separately, then what happens? There is no coordination. You have to see that all the people's work is directed towards a common goal or a common objective of the organization. Why is coordination essential? If you have to synchronize the efforts of different individuals in the organization. So we say that synchronization of the efforts, that is the main objective of coordination. Otherwise, what happens? Everybody will be moving on in their own direction and there will not be any coordination. So friends, coordination is necessary because it is a natural tendency of the employees to work. See, when the employees are working in a group, there should be a proper understanding amongst themselves. All of them are working for a common purpose. Since they are working for a common purpose, there should be an understanding between them. There should be certain commonalities between them. They should know what each other is doing. Otherwise, it becomes meaningless. So, coordination is also important. So, in the first part, we said that coordination is necessary to remove the conflicts. If everybody is moving in a different direction, then conflicts are likely to arise. When people are working without consulting each other, there is a problem of overlapping. So, in order to avoid overlapping, coordination is necessary. There are three important reasons for the conflicts to arise in the organization. Now, first of all, we can say that conflicts may arise whenever there is overlapping of activities within the organization. This overlapping of activities arises because there is ignorance. Each person does not know what the other person is doing. So that way, coordination, it gives rise to conflict. Sometimes there is a tendency that when individuals work, they feel that their own work is important while neglecting the other person's work. Or they may also be unmindful of the other person's work. They may be unmindful of the requirements of the other person. This may lead to conflict. In this case, coordination is important. The third important reason is when the conflict may be there whenever there is a greed for power and importance which the heads of the organizations they may attach to some important aspects. Now, many times we find that take for example, the chief minister or the prime minister makes an important announcement. Now, they may make an important announcement without even consulting the other heads of the departments or the other ministers. Now, in such cases, what happens? That particular minister may face a problem because the announcement has come without his knowledge. So, conflict is there. See, had there been proper discussion, then we can say there was coordination between the minister and the chief minister, the minister and the prime minister, and there is no problem at all. So, conflicting ideas may arise if they do not discuss with each other. Coordination, now see, as students of administration, we may think that okay, coordination and cooperation are one and the same. But I already said that cooperation is different, coordination is different. See, coordination may help in bringing about proper cooperation. One aspect of coordination is cooperation. Now, to further understand this particular difference between coordination and cooperation, let me give you the story that has been put forward by Terry. Now, Terry gives the example of a boy who wants to catch a train early in the morning. Now, this boy knows that he should be on time, so he advances the watch by half an hour and he goes to bed. He wants to have complete sleep. That is why he goes to bed early and he advances his watch by half an hour. After some time, the boy falls asleep. His father comes to the room. Father is concerned about the son. Father says that, okay, the son should not be late and miss the train. So he advances the watch by half an hour. Next, after the father goes to bed, mother, before she retires to bed, she does not say anything, but she comes and advances the watch by half an hour. Now, there is cooperation in the sense everyone wanted to see that the boy reaches the station on time, does not miss the train. But there is no coordination between the three people. Had there been coordination, the boy would not have lost 1.5 hour sleep. He would have just lost half an hour sleep instead of 1.5 hour and reached the station on time. I hope now you have understood the difference between coordination and cooperation. We can say that coordination is much more than cooperation. And so if we have to accomplish major tasks in the organization, coordination is a must. Coordination can be considered as the first principle of organization. It is essential. It is the first principle of organization. And without coordination, it becomes very difficult for the organizations to achieve the desired goals in the stipulated time.